Imagine a world where algorithms don't just understand your words, but your feelings. Not just that you're sad, but why you're sad. A world where AI can detect your deepest anxieties, your hidden desires, your unspoken fears, all from the subtle flickers in your eyes, the tremor in your voice, the minuscule changes in your posture. This isn't science fiction anymore. This is emotional AI, and it's being built right now. So why, with all its revolutionary potential, does almost no one talk about it? To understand this profound silence, we need to go back, not just a few years, but to the very foundation of artificial intelligence. For decades, AI's primary task was logical processing, understanding commands, analyzing data, making predictions based on patterns. It excelled at tasks where emotions were a hindrance, not a data point. When we interacted with early AI, whether it was a chatbot or a voice assistant, its understanding was superficial. It processed keywords, identified intent based on pre-programmed rules, and provided responses. It was like talking to a highly efficient, yet completely emotionally deaf automaton. Then came the breakthrough, the proliferation of deep learning and neural networks. Suddenly, AI wasn't just following rules, it was learning. It was identifying complex, nonlinear patterns in vast data sets. This opened the door to much more nuanced human-computer interaction. But even then, the focus was still on language comprehension, image recognition, and predictive analytics that dealt with external phenomena. Understanding human emotion remained largely in the realm of psychology, not machine learning. But a quiet revolution was brewing. Researchers began to realize that emotions, while complex, often manifest in predictable, measurable ways. The micro-expressions that flash across a human face in a fraction of a second, the slight inflections in speech that betray anxiety or excitement, the postural shifts that indicate discomfort or engagement. These aren't random. They are data points. And where there is data, there is the potential for AI to learn. This realization sparked the development of affective computing, or emotional AI. Initially, the application seemed innocuous, even beneficial. Imagine a customer service chatbot that could detect your frustration escalating and automatically route you to a human agent, or tailor its responses to de-escalate tension. Think of a driving assistant that recognizes signs of driver fatigue or aggressive behavior, prompting gentle interventions, or even educational software that gauges a student's engagement or confusion, adapting its lessons in real time. These were the promises, the optimistic visions sold to investors and the public. Emotional AI was marketed as an empathic upgrade to our increasingly digital lives, a way for machines to finally get us on a deeper level. But what started as a seemingly benign effort to improve user experience has quickly metastasized into something far more pervasive and, frankly, terrifying. Now, the potential for emotional AI stretches far beyond personalized ads or helpful chatbots. Consider the hiring process. Companies are already piloting AI systems that analyze job applicants' facial expressions, vocal tone, and even word choice during video interviews, claiming to assess traits like conscientiousness or emotional stability. This isn't just about identifying a smile, it's about interpreting a perceived lack of enthusiasm, a fleeting look of uncertainty, or a vocal tremor as quantifiable data points to predict future job performance. What if your perfect resume is dismissed, not because of your skills, but because an algorithm decided your facial movements indicated low assertiveness? What if an entire demographic is unfairly penalized because their cultural expressions of emotion differ from the training data? The implications don't stop at the workplace. Imagine public surveillance cameras that don't just identify faces, but also detect suspicious emotional states. Are you exhibiting signs of anger, fear, anxiety? In theory, this could be used to prevent crime, but in practice, it's a recipe for mass profiling and potentially pre-crime arrests based on algorithmic interpretations of your inner world. In China, such systems are already being deployed, tracking citizens' social credit and emotional states. The line between protecting public safety and suppressing dissent becomes terrifyingly blurred when your internal feelings are under constant algorithmic scrutiny. But things take an even darker turn when we consider the manipulative potential. If an AI can accurately read your emotional state, it can also learn how to influence it. Picture social media algorithms that don't just show you content you're likely to engage with, but content specifically designed to amplify certain emotions, fear, outrage, joy, or even despair, to guide your purchasing decisions, your political opinions, or even your overall mental state. Imagine political campaigns leveraging emotional AI to craft hyper-personalized propaganda, not just targeting your interests, but precisely triggering your anxieties and hopes. This isn't just about targeted advertising, it's about emotional warfare, waged subtly and invisibly at scale. Your privacy is not just about your data, it's about the sanctity of your inner life, the very core of your autonomy. What they discovered next, or rather, what we are on the precipice of discovering, changes everything. A world where our inner lives are no longer our own. Researchers are developing algorithms that can infer not just basic emotions, but complex cognitive states like boredom, confusion, or even deception. Imagine a future where a court of law uses an AI's lie detection capabilities based on microscopic changes in pupil dilation or vocal stress to determine guilt or innocence, bypassing the messy complexities of human testimony, body language, and context. What if that AI, trained on imperfect data, makes a mistake? What if it's biased against certain demographics who express stress differently? Consider the most chilling scenario, the weaponization of emotional AI in warfare or state control. An enemy could scan populations, identifying individuals predisposed to fear, anger, or dissent, then deploy information campaigns tailored to exploit those specific emotional vulnerabilities. Or, more subtly, think of effective nudging, where technology subtly guides your choices, not through overt commands, but by subtly manipulating your emotional landscape. Your smartwatch detects rising stress levels and suggests a specific meditation app, which then gently steers you towards partner products. Your smart home senses your melancholy and adjusts lighting, music, and even scent, not just for comfort, but perhaps to make you more receptive to certain commercial messages appearing on your screens. This isn't just about surveillance, it's about prediction and preemption. If an AI knows you're about to feel a certain way, it can act before you even consciously recognize that emotion yourself. This capability fundamentally erodes the concept of free will. If our emotional responses, which so often drive our decisions, are understandable and manipulable by machines, are we truly making our own choices? Or are we simply reacting to an AI-orchestrated environment designed to provoke specific reactions? To this day, the quiet advance of emotional AI remains largely out of the public spotlight. It's not as flashy as self-driving cars or as immediately terrifying as killer robots, but its potential to fundamentally reshape society, privacy, and personal autonomy is perhaps even greater. We're sleepwalking into a future where the most intimate aspects of our being, our feelings, our moods, our deepest fears, are becoming legible to machines. And once these algorithms understand our emotions, they will inevitably be used not just for our convenience, but for control. The absence of public discourse, the lack of widespread awareness, presents a critical danger. Because if we don't start talking about emotional AI now, if we don't start demanding ethical frameworks and robust protections, we may soon find ourselves in a world where the algorithms don't just know how you feel, but dictate it. If you want more mysteries like this, the next video explores the dark side of predictive policing and the chilling implications of algorithms that claim to foresee your future actions.